Alright, well, we're in quarantine, or so it seems. Just stay inside and work on your dreams. Don't go out and get caught in the high beams. Just be like me. It's the Bar for Bar Weekly. It's the week of March 20th, 2020, and the Bay Area is still on lockdown. It's been like 5 days. Anyways, that doesn't stop hip hop. More bars. The first, I guess, notable bit of news is that Kendrick's To Pimp A Butterfly turned 5 years old this week. So, if you haven't listened to this album, you're seriously missing out. Like, what are you doing? Like, go listen to it now. This album is, if it's not already considered, it will be considered a classic in the coming years. Definitely one of the best albums of the 2010s, though. I think I talked about it on one of the podcasts, but when it came out, it was a surprise. Like, at least when it dropped. Everyone knew he was going to drop something. But it just kind of came out one day. And I just sat there and listened to it back to back. It was fun. Also this week, Griselda gained a new member. And this time it's in the form of the female MC, Armani Caesar. They haven't really said much else other than her joining. And she hasn't really put out any music that I've heard of. So we'll see. But if she has the Griselda cosign, that's more than enough. Also, apparently Boldy James is signed to Griselda, but they didn't have any sort of announcement, so I don't know how real that is. I'm going to say yes. The other major bit of news, well, not news, it's just kind of weird. So on March 15th, just kind of in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m., like, West Coast time, Donald Glover Presents.com became a thing. So on that website, it was basically just a stream of what seems to be an album that just kind of kept looping over itself. I think the runtime was like 57 minutes. And we didn't really hear anything about it except for having Childish Gambino's or Donald Glover's manager tweet about it or tweet out the link. So I don't even know where it came from. But there was a few tracks that people really latched onto. Like there was one with 21 Savage, another one with Ariana Grande. And from the bits that I heard, because I didn't have time to sit down and listen to the whole thing, it was pretty solid. It was different. Like, it was more towards his most recent releases rather than like his rap releases. So it's interesting. I think this is also supposed to be his last album, or whatever he releases next is supposed to be the last one. So I mean, we'll see when the time comes, I guess. It's also strange because that stream has been taken down. It went up for about a day, and then it's just gone. But I'm not even surprised. This is to be expected from Donald Glover. We'll see though. I mean, hopefully new music actually comes out. A lot of people were saying that the stuff that was playing was kind of unfinished. And I could see that, but I think it could also just be because it was streaming and it was probably like the lowest possible quality. Who knows? The other bit of news, a lot of little things really, but Jay Electronica is really upset with anyone who doesn't like his album or who has any criticisms of his album, which, I mean, he has a right to, because this is his debut album. The first thing that happened this week with Jay Electronica was Paul Rosenberg's response to the Synagogue of Satan line, to which Jay responded, "Cloud chasing is at an all-time high, and that he stands by every word on this album." I mean, that's fine, you do your thing. And apparently that line was in reference to the New Testament. So, not much to say there. It was just that he was like, oh, well, that's a interesting thing to say. What was funnier was when he had a discussion with Joe Budden. So Joe, on the episode 330 of the Joe Budden podcast, said that Jay, like my father gone, got mopped on his own album by Hove. Jay, like Necronomicon, basically repeated his cloud chasing sentiment from earlier. Joe brought up a lot of good points, and I feel like a lot of reviewers are ignoring. So go check out what he had to say, not just a little snippet that everyone grabs onto. Since I don't want Jay like Ramadan to come fight me until I actually do the review, I'm not going to say much else about it. So also this week, we're getting a new Spillage Village album soon. Earthgang went to Reddit and said that because of the quarantine, that's what they're working on now. So that's exciting. Jid posted we went to Instagram Live and then it got posted on Twitter. But that got posted, and that snippet was dope. So hopefully it's coming sooner than later. On to some other news. Today is Bandcamp Day, March 20th. So that means that all the proceeds from your purchases through Bandcamp are going to go directly to the artist. This is great because, especially right now, because most tours and shows have been postponed or canceled. So this is a really good way to support your favorite artist outside of like buying merch. Because they make a lot of their money from touring. So if they can't do that, they're kind of screwed. So if you can, go support, buy whatever you want. Completely random, but Lil Baby announced that his Lamborghini Boys mixtape will only feature artists that own Lamborghinis. So no broke boys allowed. And Erykah Badu announced on Twitter that she's holding a quarantine concert series from her bedroom. So price of admission is like $1, and the music that she performs is going to be based on listeners. So whatever y'all want to listen to, that's what she's going to play. Hopefully she shows up on time, being that it sits in her bedroom. Not much else now. Only thing that's left is album releases. So The Weeknd's long-awaited album After Hours finally dropped. I like it. I've only given it like 3 listens though, so I can't really give you a full deep dive into it. But I like it. Sada Baby dropped Scuba Sada, and Sag Selecta and Terminology dropped 1982 The Quarantine. This is kind of in the same vein as Chill Static they did last year with Bun B. So this was streamed on YouTube, and it was on, I think it was actually on Bandcamp last week. Now it's on streaming platforms everywhere, so everyone gets to listen to it. Anyways, that's all I got. Stay inside, play Animal Crossing or Doom, or both. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, the usual.